Howdy folks, how are y'all doing? My name is Reese, and welcome back to the Minecraft 2025 Let's Play Adventure. Today is Monday, September 1st. Yet another month ahead of us. How exciting is that? Another month behind, though, Deadpool. Another month behind us. September, October, November, December. That's only 4 months. That means we're in the final third of the year. Not quite the final quarter, but we're not far off from it, Deadpool. We're not far off from it. The year is flying by, but my goodness, we have done so much, and I am so proud of the work that we have done here in our little world. Collecting animals, building farms. We've done a lot of really fun stuff. All kinds of farms. Iron farms, animal farms, gosh darn plant farms, every kind of animal farms. Wait a minute, that's about communism, isn't it? That's not that kind of animal farm. Now, today is, of course, a Monday, which means it is a portal day, a day dedicated, typically, to going to the roof of the nether and decorating a portal, and we have a variety of them to choose from today. We just have to pick one. Now, I actually kind of thought about today instead doing up this portal. This is technically a portal, and I think it would count for Portal Monday. But a part of me feels like we ought to wait, because at this point, it's kind of funny how I keep saying we need to fix this one. I even said that we were going to put it off until we got the Happy Ghast, because now we can fly around on our Happy Ghast, and that'll make building the underside of this sort of bowl shape a lot easier. And then we just put it off since then. So, I don't know, maybe we don't right now, maybe we do. I kind of wanted to step through the portal and have a little look around here on the roof of the nether and see if anything kind of stood out to me. And gosh darn it, there's so many different portals. Should we maybe come up with some sort of a system where we work through them all in a particular order? Should we go do this one up here to the north and then work our way down? Like, we're not far off. There's only... I was gonna say, what is that? That's our contraption. That's our farm. There's really only, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 left to do, and 1 left to redo, really. I don't know. We might... The longer it's there, the more we might just get used to it. We'll have to wait and see. It definitely does stand out. And then, of course, we have to do the process of connecting them all together with dirt, and then planting trees, and turning this place into a lovely nether roof, which is something that I'm actually serious about. There's a slight concern about mob spawning, so we'll have to keep the place very well lit, or else cover the floor in, like, half slabs, but then how are we going to plant trees and things? I wish there was a dirt or a grass slab. How cool would that be if we had grass slabs that we could put all over the ground, and then just have raised bits, little mounds where we plant all of our trees? That would be swell. I like the idea of doing them all from there, and then working that way until they're all done. So let's go through this portal and get an idea of what we're going to need. Obviously, this is going to be the Terracotta portal, or, I mean, I don't know what else we're going to call it. It is sitting sort of in this, this spiky mountainous area, so maybe that's what we build. Maybe we don't get too fancy with it, maybe we don't go too crazy with it. Maybe we just emulate this, right? We just get some terracotta of various colors, and then we just kind of build up a couple of spires, maybe a small version of this. I mean, we never really even used this portal. I'm glad it's here. It's a convenient location and everything. We've got these 2 towers. It is September. Oh, we need to be careful, actually, now that I think about it. But we do have these 2 pillars rising up from the ground here. And there's a stubby one over here. This is spire number 7. Who knows what happened to it? But I say we build something like that. I say we sort of take inspiration from these 2 and just build kind of like, put this in a little cleft in between 2 rising spires. Now, in order to get the materials, we'll need to get some terracotta. And my concern with getting terracotta is that you have to go collect it, right? Oh, it's clay. You just bake clay to get terracotta. We could. Or there's a whole biome of it right over here that I think we could probably just get a little bit, right? Like, we don't have to take all of it. We could just kind of take a little, and in fact, we could collect it from here, and people might not even ever notice, right? Like, if our goal... Look underground here. Look underground. First off, this is sand. See, I didn't know we had different colored sand. Was I supposed to know that? Well, we could turn whatever this hole is here into a terracotta mine, where we can extract terracotta from underground, and no one ever need know that, we changed the environment, right? Because it's hidden. It's secret down here. I like that idea of a terracotta mine. Yes, indeed. This is where we're going to collect all of the terracotta and maybe some of the sand as well for this installation. But before we just start digging, I guess we need to like secure this area. First things first, make sure there's no monsters down here. Make sure there's not going to be any monsters down here. We'll just kind of do that by placing torches periodically, making sure the area is secure. There is a water feature, so this place doesn't really go all that far down, does it? Well, it might actually. Hold on. How extensive is this hole? I'm glad we've got all of our underwater breathing gear, because about a week ago, we tried doing this and we were in a bad way. We kept running out of breath. Okay, this is a good place to get suffocated to death. Oh my gosh, does this lead back out to the sea? Where does this go? This is actually really cool. Okay, hold on, no, we're onto something. We found like a secret underground air pocket, and I say secret, but this guy was already here. There's a couple of them already here. Let's see if we can't finish off our bow. That's sort of our secret goal here, is to finish off our long-running infinity bow. You might be wondering, like, why do you want to finish it? It's because it's almost broken anyway. There it goes. I don't want to, like, rely on it in a combat situation where I desperately need it, like up against the dragon or something like that. I wanted to go ahead and break it so we can pull out of storage one of our other two options. Now, three, really. We've got this bow here that's got mending on it, and we could just mend it. We've got the infinity here, that's good if we start running low on arrows, and then we've got our crossbow as well that has a bunch of really cool stuff on it. So we have to decide between the two of these. Power, punch, flame is helpful. I like having flame. I like catching guys on it. You know, we're going to try with the crossbow for a while. We'll go to the crossbow, especially because we can have it loaded and ready for like a quick draw situation where we just need to get a shot off as quick as we can. I think we'll go with that for the time being. I just had like a moment where I was like, remember that time I didn't hit the record button, or I thought I did and something went wrong? And then I glanced over at the screen, I was like, oh no, but we are recording. So we do have a little glimpse out at the skies here. Nice. Oh, but it keeps going. This should link back up to the tunnels we came in from. It does indeed. Now we gotta figure out if we can get back. So we go back through here where it looks like the gravel might collapse on us at any moment. And then back up through here. And we've returned to our mine. Excellent work, everyone. Excellent work. Well, like I say, we're going to want some of this sand as well. I'm assuming you just add dye to sand. Like, I genuinely didn't know about this. This is exciting news. We probably walked over colored sand, and I just didn't really register what I was looking at or think twice about it. You have to remember, if you're coming at this from the modded mindset, there's just a lot of things in a modded Minecraft world you take for granted, right? You don't think about them all that much because it's like, yeah, well, I don't know what that is, and I'm probably not going to know for another 100 hours, so why bother trying to figure it out? You know, it's one of those things. You know, you find certain materials underground, you're like, I don't know what to do with bauxite. What do you expect me to do with bauxite? I'll collect it. It's just going to go in a chest until I finally get to that mod in a year's time. Then again, I don't know if people really play mod packs as long as I do. And you might think that that means that I put, like, oh, wow, you must go really thorough. No, not really. It just takes me a while. It just takes me a while because I'm a very busy boy. I don't do this for a living. We've talked about that. If I did, things might be different. But I'm a hobbyist YouTuber. Always, you know what? Always trying to kindle that dream, though, and make it happen. We've talked about how I've sort of accepted in more recent years that I'm like, you know what? I don't think this is going to be the career that I was trying to make it when I was, you know, still in high school and trying my darndest. And that is still true. That still holds true. But there's a part of me that will never give up on that dream. I will be on career number 3, you know, and still thinking like, I don't know, well, maybe YouTube will be a thing at some point. Maybe I'll figure out the secret sauce and make it work. That'd be cool. Hey, you want to help support? Go to patreon.howdyfolks.net. If you've ever wondered why we do patreon.howdyfolks.net instead of just the regular old Patreon link, it's because if I do patreon.howdyfolks.net, if Patreon goes down someday or we move on to a different platform, I start my own website, anything like that, I can redirect patreon.howdyfolks.net to whatever the newest thing is. So when you go to patreon.howdyfolks.net, just know that, you know, you are going to whatever the newest thing is right now. Sorry, what can I do with these? It looks like it was showing me making something out of these. What do I do with them? Oh, yeah, okay, so we've got all these different patterns over here that I wasn't even thinking about. You just... That's gray? Is there something wrong with my screen? Does that look like... Which one? The gray. That's black. Well, these all just look like different shades of brown. Am I crazy? And then how come you bake it and it turns into whatever that is? You know what? We'll find out. We'll find out because we'll probably have to go make some different colored terracotta. We got to figure out what we're going to make the base of it out of, you know, because we make the base of it out of a different block every time. Oh gosh, it's nighttime outside now. It's just occurred to me that we are kind of unprotected here. Just basically a hole under the stars where we're digging away terracotta. Anything could come down here to where we are right now and present itself as a bit of a nuisance, as a bit of a threat to our existence. A creeper right now would be devastating, because I've got nowhere to run to, baby, and I've got nowhere to hide. I'm just in a hole right now. Do I have enough materials? I guess it depends on how big the thing we're building is. Now, fortunately, what we're building is not all that far away from where the mine is, so we can, if we need to, go back to the portal, start building whatever the structure's going to be, and then just come right back through the portal and right back over here to our mine. We need to set up a sign, kind of claiming this as the Terracotta Mine. We desperately need to do that. I hear mobs, and it sounds like they're in water, possibly further back, so I don't know if we're digging towards... Well, we do know there's water back here. I'm just wondering about, like, what exactly am I hearing? Am I hearing a drowned in that little pond that we were just in moments ago? Potentially. Potentially that's what we're hearing. Oh yeah, that's a drowned for sure. You can tell because it sounds like he's got some, like, phlegm in the back of his throat. My fella needs to, like, go, you know, get that out of there. And then, I don't know, maybe, like, rinse with some salt water. And then make sure you're taking plenty of zinc and vitamin C, my guy. Make sure that you're taking care of yourself. Don't... Oh, here we go. Well, this is just the outside. Don't want that. Definitely don't want that. I have a feeling that that's going to keep happening, though, if we're not careful. So I'm going to plop another one of these down. And I think we're done digging at that level. Remember, the goal is to make sure that this thing is basically invisible from the outside. So that it's never apparent what it is we're doing, which is that we're just extracting all the natural resources that the Earth has to offer and locating them somewhere more convenient. Okay, I don't have an issue with this. I just want it to still look pretty. And I think that two things can happen, right? You can have industrialization and still have a pretty outside. Okay, it's like when you go get a surgery, right? If you get a knee surgery, there's no reason for you to then leave looking ugly. Alright, here's my mine. Hello there, sir. I'll be on my way, thank you. Right through the portal we go. That is unfortunate, don't you know? Should we, like, fill that hole in there as we're teleporting out of there? I guess we could have used sand. Speaking of, should we use sand on the ground? We have so much of it, I feel like we oughta. Alright, typical 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We gotta make out the whole thing. Funny thing is, I don't think we have enough sand. And also, that's not that funny. I don't know why I said it was funny. We'd have to go collect more sand, or else just go, like, get some of the sand. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Hold on, we can just, like, duplicate sand. Thing is, that'll take time, though. Should we just run back to the mine real quick and just see whether or not there was any sand in the mine? I know that there's sand that we can just go pick up off the ground, and we don't need that much of it, and we could probably peel some of it away in such a way that no one would notice, right? Like maybe from, like, right over there? Or is that what this is over here? I didn't mean to do that twice. Yeah, look. Is this the same color? It's red sand. Is that what we were using? Oh, heavens. Well, there's some red sand that'll never come back. Darn it. Okay, well, look, now we kind of have to do this, right? Because that's going to be such an obvious hole in the ground. It's going to look ugly. But if we kind of, like, dig some of this out, right? We can contour the earth to make that look natural. Now, how do we collect dead bushes? Do we remember how to do that? Can you silk touch them? No, darn it. I always do it wrong. I always do it wrong. I think you need shears, don't you? I see him. I see him. Trust me, I see him. There we go. Probably shouldn't be doing this at night. Can I shear you? Yes, there we go. Because I don't want to accidentally break these. They're a rare commodity. Currently in the game, there's no way to get more of them, I don't think, unless they've changed that in one of the new recent snapshots that have been coming out. There's a new version. Is it out already? Is the new update out yet? Are copper golems out yet? I'm not keeping up. We'll upgrade to them eventually. We've made the decision that we're not upgrading again and dealing with, like, either shaders being broken or distant horizons being broken. So we will not update until both of those have been updated and are in good functioning order, which is not to create any sort of pressure on the mod, like, developers, because this is a series that on average gets 30 viewers per episode. So I doubt if they know this series exists. So if you're wondering, like, geez, Reese, aren't you putting a lot of pressure on them? Nope! They don't know I'm waiting for it, and I don't want them to know. I don't want to put pressure on mod developers. They give enough of their time. They give enough of their effort. Just when they're done, we'll upgrade. Not a second sooner. And we'll let them take their time with it. I'm being shot at as I collect this sand. Okay. So now we'll fill in what's left of this hole. And then this guy's got, he looks like he's got like one of those Russian looking hats on. Hello, comrade. You collect our sand. No, it's my sand. It is our sand, comrade. Kind of make all that flow a little bit nicer if we can. Okay. So not only does it not look like we were ever here, it looks better than if we were never here to begin with, right? Like, sure, all of this was covered with sand before, and now it's not. But that's okay, because that's just fine. It's okay because it's fine. Let's get out of here. We are going to come back and take away all of the coral reef over there, because it's not enough coral reef to exist by itself. Like, it's not enough coral reef to be a coral reef. You know what I mean? Like, it needs more coral reef to be a coral reef. Now, we're not building all the way out to the sides, because we're going to replace those blocks with probably a form of terracotta. I haven't decided which one yet. But remember, we've always got to do something a little bit different for the outside edge. The trim, if you will. Goodness, I thought I'd run out of red sand. I was going to say, I'm pretty sure I collected a lot of it now. We do have plenty. We can go make more. We can duplicate more and then bring it back into the world, should the situation require it. So we've got all of these different options. I kind of like the yellow one. Is that like sunflowers, or is that sun? Is that actual like an artistic sun burst? I like the look of that. Do we have a furnace on us? Yes, but we don't have any fuel sources. I do believe there's a furnace inside of the blue one, maybe. But oh yeah, you could. Of course, you can make different colored sandstone as well. Of course, you can. What all can you do with sand? Okay, there's two different types of sand. There's red, and there's. I kind of assumed there'd be more than that. I kind of thought we could do any color of sand. I was wrong, but clearly what we've got to do is we've got to do red sandstone with red sandstone wall. Maybe we do smooth red sandstone, and that's going to be our border piece. I actually like the idea of that, so we'll deal with that later. For now, let's get to work on our structure here. We've basically got these colors, but the primary colors we have are going to be the orange and the bog standard terracotta. And I like the idea of starting with the orange, because it blends nicely with the red on the ground. And of course, we want it to look a little bit natural, so we don't want it to have a perfect form on the ground, right? We want it to be... It's gotta have the appearance of randomness, you know what I mean? Something like that, starting to look pretty good. And then we start to see the regular color terracotta come into it. On one side, I need to get some scaffolding out. It's gonna make this a lot easier. We've also got white, even though it looks pink, and light gray, even though it looks like flesh pink. Ew. I don't know why I said that. Don't like that concept. It doesn't need to go up as high as the real ones in the real world. It needs to look like a miniature. Alright, I think we've just about gone and done it. Yeah, I think that looks fine. I think that looks perfectly fine. The one thing I'm not too sure about is this bare piece here. I kind of want it to be, like, perfectly all the way around. I don't want bare corners like that. You can see I kind of did that on this side here. But at the same time, would this look better if this side were cut off? I kind of feel like, yeah, actually. So maybe we just accept it. Maybe we just accept that. But I really only ended up using the regular terracotta and the orange terracotta. So now we got to figure out what kind of signs we want to use here, as well as what we're going to call this place, because we've never really had a name for it. It's got to be acacia. The orange is going to be perfect. It's got to be acacia. And then we've got to figure out what kind of terracotta. Oh, we decided to go with the red sand, didn't we? So we'll do red sandstone all the way around. And we can go ahead and make red sandstone right here. But we want to go make it smooth. And we also want to make some fencing out of it. Do we have enough for this? Ooh, we might not have enough. Yeah, we can't make red sand, which is what I wanted to do. We can go duplicate it, but we now don't have 3 pieces, so we'd be duplicating one at a time. One moment, please, while I step through the portal and collect one more piece of red sand. You'll do. We need 48 of these, if I'm not mistaken. And we currently have 29. And that's not enough. And then we also need enough to create some walls, because we need to wall it in, and we got to make a sign. So there's actually a lot more we need to do here. So, like, do we go back and just collect more sand, or do we go run the duplicator for, like, 10 minutes? It's really, I think, all it would take. You know what I don't like about our own home portal is that it doesn't really look like a miniature version of our house. That looks like a miniature version of the Yates estate, and that looks like, you know, there's trees over there, and that looks like a little structure, and that looks like a little end place, and, like, this just doesn't look like our house. Do I need to redesign our home portal to look like a miniature of my house? I think yes is the answer to that question. I think that would be cool. Sorry, I felt like killing these guys. We're gonna finish all of the other portals. We're not doing any portal remodels until all of the portals have been completed. Now, why did I come back here when I said I needed to go duplicate the gosh darn sand? We gotta go back to the roof of the nether now. What was I thinking? So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to collect the concrete powder that we've currently got set up here. That's going to be objective number 1. I'm going to turn this bad boy on and go plant ourselves over in our corner of safety, and I'm going to leave this running while I just go edit a quick Tekkit video. Alright, well, I got an entire Tekkit video edited, so if you're ever watching and wondering, well, that's not going to work as soon as we turn it on, that's fantastic. If you're ever watching and wondering, geez, I wonder when Reese had time to edit this episode of the Tekkit SMP Let's Play, a single-player one at least, that being episode 2 is what I just edited. Yeah, it's taken a while. It's taken a while, but we're there, folks. We finally have 2 episodes. How grand is that? Just now is when I had the time. And if you're wondering, Reese, what you doing there, buddy? The sand is less dense than the sandstone. So I figured if I made the sandstone now, we'd be able to carry more of it back than if we, like, just carried back the raw sand and then maybe not have enough of it, right? If I just go ahead and turn it into sand, because we don't need the sand. We need the sandstone. So much so that I'm just going to leave this 3 sand right there, and we'll go back with 3 stacks of sandstone plus 3 random bits. And we're going to leave that death marker there, because who cares anymore? And we're actually going to fly into this thing. Because we've been trying to figure out what happens if you fly into it, and apparently nothing. We did take a bit of damage on the landing, though. Now, I believe, I was going to say, yeah, I think in order to make smooth, we got to put it inside of here and smelt it up. But before I do that, let me verify something here. If I have a look, it's not smooth sandstone wall. That's not a thing. You either get the smooth red sandstone, and you get this red sandstone wall, or we make the border out of the red. I'm thinking we go with that. I'm thinking we just go with the red sandstone instead of making it smooth, because that has some texture on the sides, and once we ultimately end up putting down dirt everywhere, it's not going to matter anyway whether or not it's smooth, and top of it's already smooth, so really all we got to do is just make the walls. We can make those when we get there, but you know something else we need? Something else we need is a little bit of heart. If you're watching this right now, call someone you love, tell them you love them. Then tell them that Howdy Folks needs all of their love. They need to channel all of their love and positivity and good emotions into a video message and post it onto the Howdy Folks Discord. Can you do that on there? I actually don't. Maybe you can't. I think you have to be. I think you actually have to be a Patreon supporter to post like a video or something. So maybe, I don't know, maybe consider becoming a supporter and doing that. Gonna bring some dye. Do we need to dye both sides of the sign or just one side? I don't know. It doesn't need to glow, I don't think. It doesn't, no. The white doesn't look good when it glows. I'm not a fan of the way it looks when the white glows. I think it doesn't need to glow. I like how it looks from a distance. I think it looks pretty good. It definitely represents what it's meant to represent. I think that looks fantastic. All right, sandstone time. Then we need to make our walls. Boy, if these walls could talk, you know what I'm saying? I don't. I have no clue. How many of these do we need? 40 might be too many. I completely forgot about the fact that we would probably need a light source over here, so I didn't bring one. I was also wrong about 40 being enough. We actually need 42, in case you were wondering. So there we have it. There's our walls. I guess we could just use torches. My concern now would be if we use something other than torches, what would we use and what would actually look good with the terracotta? Because, like, the light sources we tend to use have to kind of match the environment. So all around there we used lanterns. There we used end rods. I don't know what a good light source would be here, and I'm actually going to reach out to you folks to comment and let me know. Could we get away with glowstone? We might be able to make glowstone work. I'm kind of worried about the tips of these towers. Like, might things spawn up there if we don't add light sources kind of more towards the center? Like, statistically, what are the odds? Actually, no. Only at that tippy topmost one there does it look like something could potentially spawn. Comment down below and let me know which light source you think makes the best and most amount of sense here. I'm going to tidy all of this up so that I can take a step back and get us a really good thumbnail image. There we go. Look at that. I think it looks really simple. There's nothing special about it, but there doesn't need to be anything special about it, because it's just supposed to represent what already exists in the overworld, but in miniature. And I think it does a fantastic job of that, so hopefully you agree. I'm pleased with it. I'm glad we got to use different types of material. We've never worked with terracotta before, and the red sand I think looks pretty good as the sort of surrounding material. The torches I'm not in love with, and I think we'll probably replace those with something else. I don't think it makes sense for it to be lanterns, because it doesn't fit with the theme of it. Why would there be lanterns there? We don't have any kind of structure there with lanterns. But, I don't know. Comment down below. Let me know what you think. Let me know what your thoughts and opinions are. Let me know what you think we ought to do about lighting, and we will look into it. But I am quite pleased with that one, and that's another one done. That looks like a pumpkin with a frowny face, kind of. Like, these up here are the eyes, these are the eyebrows, these darker patches, and then this is the frowny face, or it's making some kind of, like, scary face. I didn't think about that when I built it, but that's kind of how it looks now. And we only have the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 left to go. Till next time, thank you folks for watching, God bless you, and I'll see you later. Goodbye!